Hi class, so welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about graphs that we use in not, not just statistical analysis but basically in everything. So graphs are defined as a pictorial representation or diagram that represents data or values in an organized manner or way. Right? So it's like we're giving an image, or it's like we're giving a body to a particular random number. So that's how we do it. So the points on the graph often represent the relationship between two or more things. So this relationship between two or more things. So when you see here example of graphs that we usually see, especially when we look at news, magazines, and other stuff related to, showing representation of data. So the one that we're going to talk about, the first one is going to talk about is scatter plots. The scatter plots are basically looks like this. So these are just points of data that we just plotted. So parang ano lang, parang yung plot mo lang yung mga data points and then as a dots, so ganun lang. So scatter plot, also known as scatter plot, scatter graph, or scatter chart, or scattergram, or scatter diagram, is a type of plot or mathematical diagram using Cartesian coordinates, so that's x and y coordinates, to display values for typically two variables for a set of data. So it's going to be an x versus y graph. So for example, this one. So basically, the initial data that we can get looks like a table, like this. Right? So if you're just going to, pag hindi mo pa alam yung picture, so when you only see this one, it doesn't really give you any kind of information aside from that you see that the highest number is 135. Alright, so the highest number is 135 and the school GPA is 10. Okay, but if you're going to plot this one and make a scatter diagram like this, you will see that there is a relationship among all of the data. As you can see here, so makapansin nyo naman, no, if you are visually, if your intellect or your IQ is more on the spatial side or visual or spaces or figures side, so you will immediately notice that there is something going to happen here. Mag-defy ko lang. Okay? So medyo maraming data dito. So without further saying or without any words at all, to describe this picture, you can immediately say that as the school GPA is increased, there's also a higher test score, IQ test score. So it means that when the school is stop performing, obviously students in the top performing school are mostly composed of above average IQ. So basically, like sabi mong UP, they're concentrated with higher IQ individuals. So not just UP, probably outside, you mean Harvard. So students in Harvard, I don't know, maybe Cambridge or Oxford University or Stanford. That case, their students probably has a more above average IQ than the others. So makapansin nyo naman yung dito. So the higher the school standing, the higher the IQ test score of their students have in the average. So just looking at the picture here, you already have the idea that this is what it means. Alright? So that's the scatter plot. Now second type is box plot. So maybe I probably cheated on your quiz that I provided you the box plot immediately in the quiz, but I did that intentionally for you to be prepared that I'm going to give you box plots in week 6. Right? So box plot or whisker plot, sometimes called box plot obviously, is a graph that represents information from a 5-number summary. So just what I already told you before, we have the minimum number, we have the maximum number, we have the average, we have the, di ko naturo sa inyo, but we have the first quartile and the second quartile. Now, these five numbers gives not really a visual information, but rather gives the characteristics of the data samples. For example, looking at this picture, so color blue is Timbuktu. As you can see here, this is the near surface air temperature in Timbuktu. So the box plot, for Timbuktu gives us the five number information about Timbuktu, such as this one, the lowest possible temperature that the Timbuktu has. So that is around 11 degrees Celsius. So it means that Timbuktu can go colder as low as 11 degrees Celsius, and it could also go higher as 45 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, the average temperature for Timbuktu is around 30 or 31 degrees Celsius, while the lowest, sometimes, I mean, the idea of the first and the second quartile is that it's like, in simple words, hindi naman talaga nagiging 10 degrees Celsius yan in daily. Hindi talaga for example, in that particular day, hindi naman talaga nagiging 11 degrees Celsius hindi naman talaga nagkakaroon ng 11 degrees Celsius. But what this data trying to say is that Timbuktu can be as low as 11 degrees Celsius and can be as high as 45 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the first quartile here, the second quartile, is parang estimate na pwedeng maglaro yung temperature within the day on the first and the second quartile. So it means maglalaro lang yung temperature mo averagely dito sa first and second quartile. But the extremes is the lowest and the highest value, which is 11 and 45 degrees Celsius. So that's how you interpret, that's basically how you interpret box plots. Alright? So when are you going to use box plot, by the way? So you're going to use box plots if you are trying to show a very distinct values or data about a particular object or a thing. For example, aside from temperature, you can say that the price for Marie, price for this biscuit. So you can know the lowest possible value of this biscuit, and you can also know the highest possible value for this biscuit. So for example, ang pinakamahal na presyo ng Marie is nakita mo sa Mindanao. So pinakamura ay nasa Luzon. Bakit? Kasi yung Marie kasi ginawa sa Luzon, syempre yung pinakamalayo, yun yung may pinakamahal na presyo. But the average value, if you're going to sum it up, let's say the lowest value is 6 pesos and the highest value is 10 pesos. So the mean of that one is around 7 divided by 2. So, and then you're going to divide. So, okay, calculate lang natin. So how do we calculate the higher and the lower quartile? Alright, so the higher and the lower, or the upper and the lower quartile can be computed by splitting the data set into two halves. For example, from the median to the minimum, you divide it by 2. And from the median to the maximum, you divide it by 2. So, ganun lang makuha ang lower and upper quartile. So, this is very important. We probably always see data in, or we see one particular point of data. We don't really see 5 points data, right? Minsan 1 lang. The problem with that one value is that it's somehow really biased because it doesn't really give you all of the idea about the sample. So maybe that 1 point data is just the average, or probably the maximum, or probably the minimum. Don't know. So box plot can give you the complete idea about the particular point or sample. So this is the importance of box plot. So this is how you get the higher and lower quartile box plot. Okay, so again, from the median to the minimum, you divide it by 2, and you get the lower quartile. And as for the upper quartile, you find the median between the median and the maximum. Okay, now that's the box plot. Okay, so this is the bar chart right now. So this is the third one, the bar chart. So bar chart or box or whisker. So the box bar chart are basically charts that shows you ranking. Okay, so we use bar charts whenever we want to compare one or when we want to compare two or more particular population or samples. So we use bar charts to compare. Okay, so it could either be, it has a very distinct, or it may just say is maraming ways of showing a bar graph. So it could be a vertical bar graph or it could be horizontal bar graph. So yung kita nyo kanina, which is the ranking, is horizontal bar graph. So the question is, pwede ba sir na vertical yan? Well, yeah, pwede. Okay lang naman. But the more formal way of showing relationships between two or more than two population is by showing them in horizontal bar graph. Okay, so you can also have group bar graph, and you can also have stacked bar graph. Okay, so medyo i-level up lang natin. So, I'm expecting na ang naipakita lang sa atin mula elementary to high school is the vertical bar graph and the horizontal bar graph. So, medyo intermediate to high level na yung group bar chart, at mas advanced level na yung stacked bar graph. Because, I mean, stacking bar graph means to say that you have multiple or you have many groups to be compared. So let's say for example, okay, so practice lang tayo. So this is the group bar chart. So it means to say that you are comparing for populations or samples. You're just comparing for, so on the y-axis you have the total revenue. Okay, so dito on the first quarter of 2020, ito yung ranking ng apat. So the first quarter, as you can see here, Lincoln has the highest revenue. Pero nung pagka second quarter, bumaba siya. Then sa third quarter, tumaas siya ulit. Pero hindi na siya yung highest. So as you can see here, if you're going to observe the behavior or the pattern of all these from these four data sets, you can see that yung Kent ay nag-i-increase ng revenue. While yung green, which is York, yung New York, New York, bumaba, then tumaas. While the purple one, which is Mercy, parang consistent lang siya or constant lang siya at this particular revenue. While, so between the four, mas maganda yung performance ng Kent kasi pataas siya. While Lincoln, pababa, then taas, and then New York is pataas, pababa, and then, yeah, so Mercy is consistent lang. So that's group bar chart. While this is an example of a stacked bar chart. So medyo complicated na, but let me help you with understanding this one. So again, hindi na kasi magiging maganda kung magko-compare ka ng napakaraming data or samples kapag i-group mo sila. Okay, so hindi mo na masyado nang marami o masyado nang mahaba. Kaya gumagamit tayo ng stack. So nagsa-stack tayo. So for stacking, mapapansin nyo, okay, so Ethan, Comer, John, Con, sum, awards, and wins. So papansin nyo naman dito, for Ethan, Cohen, Joel, Cohen, so for example, we're comparing more, so you stack it. For example, this one, okay, so this green bar chart, so this green one is its crime. So mataas yung crime hanggang dito. Pero ang tanong, question is, ito lang ba talaga yung green? No. So ang bilang yan ay mula 0 hanggang pataas. And then yung orange, ganun din, from 0 pataas. And then yung pink is ganun din, from 0 pataas. Okay, so ganun din dito, taas. So papansin nyo, meron mga maliliit dito. So kasi yung bilang nila ay konti lang. Okay, so ibig sabihin kay David Fincher, yung sci-fi movie niya is mababa, konti lang yung awards na na-receive. So ganun. Ayan, hindi ko kasi kilala to. So, si Steven Spielberg, isang kilalang director, Steven Spielberg. So, pinakamarami niyang nagawang movie genre is action. So, check natin. Steven Spielberg. Okay, so Steven Spielberg. Okay, American film processor for Hollywood operators in history. Okay. So, wow, kung titignan niyo yung move, titignan niyo yung YouTube and Google, no, wala masyadong information about Steven Spielberg kung ano yung usually yung mga movie na ginagawa niya. Movies. Okay? Alright, so kapansin nyo, Steven Spielberg ay nag-direct ng mga movie like Ready Player One, The Terminal, War of Words, The PFG. Papansin nyo more of an action, no? Jurassic Park is an action pero medyo may pagka-sci-fi yan, thriller. So itong sa yung Private Ryan is action. So Adventures of Tintin, Minority Report is also an action movie. War of Wars is also an action movie pero medyo may pagka-sci-fi. The Terminal, I don't know, it's a Terminal. Terminal is a comedy drama. Okay, so comedy drama. You see comedy drama of Steven Spielberg. Sci-fi, yeah, we have sci-fi. Kasi papansin nyo naman kanina, no, the BFG, War of Lords, Ready Player One, they're all scientific fiction. Okay, so meron na tayong the Terminal is a comedy drama. Ano ba tayong comedy drama? Okay, light blue. Comedy drama is orange. So, okay, so merong orange para kay Steven Spielberg yung drama. So, ibig sabihin marami din siyang drama movie. At the highest, pero yung pinakamarami niya nagawa o pinakamaraming awards na na-receive nagawa ni Steven Spielberg is action. Okay, so marang halata naman, di ba, kung bakit. Halata naman sila kung bakit, di ba? So, science fiction action. So, tira nyo naman, di ba? Action, adventure films. Alright. So, ano pa ba? So, The Terminal. Kaya kanina, drama yan, ha? Comedy drama. The War of Lords. Probably sci-fi. Okay, so still science fiction. So, sci-fi action film. So, basically, what this picture says, or what this stack bar graph is saying, is the sum up or the yung parang kung ano yung mga nagawa ni Steven Spielberg. So again, the counting of the data always start from 0. So ang pinakamataas yun yung 300 plus wins. So ganun. So that's start bar graph. Now, second one, the next one is pie chart. So this is the most common, okay, so very common na itong pie chart. So we use pie chart to show the composition of particular population. So we use this. So we use pie charts if we want to show the proportion of a certain, for example, this one product, the cell phone. Okay. So if you're going to make a composition analysis of this cell phone, so maybe we're going to use glass, metal, glass, metal, and polymer. Okay. So how many percent metal sa phone, how many percent yung glass, and how many percent yung polymer. But if you're going to look at the construction of the phone, mostly, or the predominant composition of this phone is metal, which is aluminum. So I can say that this is 80% metal. Okay, 80% metal, 10% glass, and 10% other materials. So that's how you do composition. So it's the same with the pie chart. You use composition on when you try to show composition. You use pie chart. Okay, so for this one, example is the Philippines ethnic composition. So for example, this is the total population of the Philippines. Let's say this is 100. Okay, 101 million. Okay. Natin. Okay. Total equals 101 million. Okay? So total is 101 million. So ibig sabihin yung buong globe is 101 million. Now, 26.2% is others. So they be classified as atheist, agnostic, whatever. 24.4% is ethnic pala yan, hindi pala yung religion. Sorry. Now, 26.2% maybe there are half breed, half Filipino, half American, half Chinese, half Australian. So lahat ng class na half. So yun. So they could be the 26.2% of the population. While 34.4% yung mga Tagalog, okay, so yung mga sa Luzon, nasa Central Luzon, no, ano, Tagalog. So, Bisaya, 11.4%. So, third one is Cebuano. So, Cebuano is 9.98%. So, if you're going to get the exact value of how many Cebuano there are, so just multiply 9.9% by 101 million. So that's how we do it. Okay. So the pie chart is a circular statistical graphic which is divided into slices to illustrate numerical proportions. Again, proportions of proportion is how many percent. Okay. How many percent? So in the pie chart, the arc length of each slide is proportional to the quantity it represents. So good. Alright. So that's pie chart. Now, next one that I'm going to show you, bonus. Okay, so tingnan natin actual data, no? So we're going to use real data from, sorry, we're going to use real data from the DOH, alright? So World Health Organization, okay? So we're going to use the actual data from the Department of Health, okay? So I'm going to analyze the data. So they say here 359,169 yung total cases sa Philippines. So the active cases are 42,000, recovered is 310,000, so 6,675 na yung namatay. Okay, ang tanong, ito ba talaga actual na ito ba talaga actual value? No. This is not the actual value but only estimated from a certain population sample. Okay? So, yeah. So, hindi naman kasi lahat ng tao mag-test. So, yun yung sinasabi nila na mass testing. So, we want mass testing because we want to know the real data. Okay. But again, we cannot afford mass testing or yung pang lahat ng testing because again, it's practically impossible kasi we have limited number of funds. At the same time, we cannot in any way test 101 million unless you are China, unless you are in China. Okay, so dapat in China, no? How many tests in China in one day? Right. So okay. So China tested 9 million in 5 days. Alright. Imagine 9 million tests in 5 days. Can we do that here in the Philippines? Not try to be skeptic, but it's a big no. Alright. It's a big no. Okay, 9 million. So imagine na lang, even if half of the population of the Philippines, let's say 50 million, can we test that out? No, we cannot. So it's very difficult for us to test so many, a lot of us, especially if we are constrained in terms of budget. Okay? Now, so we have weekly and daily data from DOH, as well as we can see the cases, recoveries, and that. Now, napapansin nyo, diba? Ito yung mga numbers. But again, numbers don't give us information. Not basically. The numbers do not give us meaning. Doesn't really give us meaning. It's just number. If you're going to remember the song, a picture paints 1,000 words. It's basic. It's also applicable with graphs. So, if you want to say something, you put it in graph. You don't give it numbers. Alright, so this is the actual data from DOH. I don't know if this is reliable, but assuming that it is reliable at walang mga magical kapangyarihan ang kantad dito sa DOH, we can say na okay, sure, probably believable, no? So this is so what you see here is the X and Y not really X and Y, but on the Y-axis you see here the number of cases, and then nasa X-axis is yung month. So naka-weekly to, okay? So pero nakikita natin mga monthly, no? Monthly data. Anyway, there are 4 weeks in 1 month. So pwede naman. So this is a combination of a bar graph and a line graph. I don't really know what's this bar graph for. Okay, siguro, okay. So the reason why they combine line and bar graph is para makita niyo yung trend. Okay, kasi if you're going to simply put line here, if you're going to simply put bar chart here, Diyan makikita yung parang form niya. Okay, so nung nagkaroon tayo ng line chart o ng lines, is parang nakita natin yung form o yung trend. Parang, tataas, tapos bababa, ganun. So, yun yung purpose ng line. Okay? So, initially, this is a time series plot. You know why this is a time series plot? Kasi from the name itself, time, so yung x-axis natin is a time. So, yun. So, we observe the values of a particular population or sample in time. So that's a time series plot. Alright? So, using a time series plot, marami tayong makukuha information. Like, for example, so, ano bang meron during March 1 to April 1 and May 1? So, bakit mababa? Nag-start ang coronavirus, yung start ang coronavirus yung mga January, maybe, but we haven't confirmed it yet. Okay? Kaya nung merong unang Chinese person or individual na nag-positive sa coronavirus noong February, hindi na sinama kasi we can simply neglect that one because it's only one. But the problem is this. Isa na ba talaga? No. Isa na ba talaga? Considering that we already have a huge number starting March 5. So this only means that the actual onset or start of the transmission or local transmission in the Philippines can be traced as early as January. Okay, so January, nagsa-start na. Kasi mapapansin niyo yung behavior ng ibang bansa, they already started blocking the Chinese nationals from entering their country starting January. So, kaya na-prevent na yung pag-spread. Kasi they already contained it before. So the problem with your Philippines is yung 30 days yung January is we relax. Kaya ito, pagdating ng March 1, imposible naman na 2,000 na agad, 2,000 cases na agad. But we estimate that this is a lot higher than that. So hindi na 2,000 plus yan, mas marami pa dyan. And maybe a lot worse. So, kaya mababa yung nakikita natin dito, detected natin is dahil during this period, wala pang kinakonduct ang Philippines na pangmaramihang testing. So, dito sabihin is wala pa tayong mga mega labs or swab testing facilities na kayang mag-facilitate ng napakaraming testing. So, nag-start na sila noong June. Kung kailan kaya na nila yung isang testing facilities, kaya na test ng 2,000 per day. Okay, so 2,000 per day lang yun. Imagine nyo na lang, in China, 9 million, 5 days. Diba? So, dito sa Philippines, 2,000 lang. So, syempre, nag-i-increase yun kasi dumadami lalo yung testing facility. So, let's say, 10 na yung testing facility sa NCR. So, if they can do 2,000 per day, so, they can do 20,000 tests per day. So, simultaneously. 20,000 tests per day. So, yun. Increase hanggang sa, ito na nakita na natin. Now, as to the question of this data, so, pwede ba natin sabihin na nag-decline na yung number of cases? Well, based on the data, yes. Pwede natin sabihin na nag-decline talaga. As you can see, okay, assuming na hindi nagbago yung number of tests na kinakonduct. Okay? Assuming na hindi nagbago yung number of tests na kinakonduct at ganun pa rin yung dami ng nakakonduct na test, ganun pa rin yung, alam niyo yun. So, kung continuous pa rin yung testing, at nag-decline na yung COVID cases, so pwede natin sabihin na, nag-decline nga. Pero, dito sa early periods na to, yung mass testing natin, let's say, is 100% capacity. And then, dahil may bagong balita na yung Red Cross facility ay hindi na sila tatanggap ng testing kasi hindi nagbabayad ng PhilHealth, bababa yung testing capacity to 80%. Now, since bumaba yung testing capacity, obviously, bababa din ang number of detectable cases since mababa na yun yung testing capacity. Obviously, bababa to. So, it will affect the data that we have. Right? So, that's what, kaya na sinabi ko, wala naman talaga hindi talaga useful yung numbers lang. So, we always use graphs to represent our data. Kasi mas maintindihan natin yung overall. So, it's the big picture that we see in our graphs. Alright? So, yeah. So, papansin nyo yung daily positivity rate. Okay, so daily positivity rate is the number of tested individuals as a percentage of the total individual tests per day. So, this is a percentage. So, for example, mayroong nagpa-test na 20 at 10 yung nag-positive. So, that's basically 50%. So, yeah, 50% tataas. So, ibig sabihin dito sa data nila is less than half na natitest nila ay positive. So, let's say 100 individuals na test nila, for example, tignan nyo naman itong data na ito, diba? Meron silang data, alright. So, out of 18,000 na na-test, 2,000 plus yung nag-positive noong July 13. Okay, and then yung ating rate is bumababa. Alright, so pansin nyo naman, di ba? Tumataas yung ating, kapag tumaas yung ating testing capacity, pansin nyo, 32,000. Ngayon, we only have 28,000. Ngayon, 17,000 lang. There are several factors. Maybe, konti lang yung test, nagpa-test, or maybe, nabawasan na yung testing capacity. So, maraming questions in mind. But, as far as I can remember, the Red Cross stopped their operations beginning October 14. Okay, so tama nga. Okay, 12 to. So, ibig sabihin, October 12, gumagana pa yung Red Cross. So, meron pa 26,000 lang. Then, 15, 26, 37. Baka late lang to. Ay, tumaas. Ngayon, 728,000. Ngayon ay 18,000 o 17,000 na lang. Alright? Now, to validate our assumptions, kailangan pa natin ng more time. So, yun yung weakness ng time series graph. We still need more time and we cannot really predict the outcome or the possibilities using a time series plot. So, we don't use time series plot in predictions. Not really. Okay, so that's the data of the OH. Alright, so for your own consumption, you probably should visit World Health Organization data. Okay, close natin yun. So overall, ito naman sa worldwide, papansin nyo na yun, number of cases in the United States ay tumataas. Sobrang dami. Right. Okay. So that's how you that's the importance of line series or the graphs. Alright, so the last one is radar. Okay, so alam ko familiar na sa inyo to, yung radar chart. Okay, so ito yung radar chart ng account ko sa ML. So mapansin nyo, radar chart gives you the characteristics, or not just characteristics really, but more sensitive information about me. Right? So, it gives you the relationship of several factors. So, for example, sa game, hindi naman talaga lagi push, no? Meron din tayong mga farmer, meron tayong yung mga assassin natin, yung mga team fight, okay. So, dito nyo makikita yung characteristic mo, yung paano ka maglaro, okay. So, ito yung radar chart ng akin. So, mapansin nyo, meron akong 27 matches, so win rate ko is 51.85%. So, ibig sabihin kapag kalaro mo ako, 50-50 chance, but 51% is mananalo tayo, ganun. So, yeah. So, yun ibig sabihin. So, isang beses ka lang ng MVP. So, meron akong 0 legendary, 0 maniac, meron akong 3 double kill, at meron akong 7 kills. 7 high steal, so ito yung pinakamataas kong pinatay ko, 7. So, longest win streak ko is 6. So, ibig sabihin nanalo ako consecutively for 6 times. Then, the highest damage ko is 2,958. So, I'm sure na mas mababa ito kasi sa inyo. Kasi hindi ako MM type, hindi naman ako assassin type. halata naman sa stats ko, diba? So, the highest gold ko is 599. So, savage 0, Tito 2-0, MVP loss. Ibig sabihin nanalo ako, one time MVP ako. Dito sa season na to, ha. So, the highest assist ko is 15. Ang taas ng highest assist ko kaysa sa kill. So, ibig sabihin, hindi talaga ako killer type. No? So, assistant lang ako. Okay? The first blood ko, 2. Okay? So, medyo swerte lang siguro. So, the highest damage taken is 7,642. Now, this values alone means to say na hindi ako yung hitter type. Kasi yung highest damage ko is mababa at yung damage taken ko is mataas. So, ibig sabihin, si Sir Ethan is more of a tank. Okay, so more of type of tank ako. So, without seeing this radar chart, ito yung information tungkol sa akin. But this radar chart gives you more information about me. So, you can say, survival, mataas yung survival ko. So, ibig sabihin, dun ako sa medyo safe side maglaro. Then, kill death average. So, okay lang. Hindi naman ganun kataasan. So, sa push, halata naman, di ba? Mababa ako sa push. So, ibig sabihin, hindi talaga ako pusher type. Hindi talaga ako hitter type. So, sa damage, mababa din ang damage ko kasi hindi naman talaga ako hitter type. Sa farming, the reason ko bakit namata siyang farming ko kasi sumasama ako lagi sa MM. So, ganun. So, ibig sabihin, tank na talaga ako. So, sa team fight naman, mataas yung team fight ko, ibig sabihin, tank na talaga din ako or support. So, more like a support or tank, support or tank type. So, survival, yeah. So, ibig sabihin yung overall radar type, yun ito mag-interpret nyo. So, using the radar type, magkakaroon ka na idea kung anong klaseng tao or anong klaseng player yung isang tao yun. Whatever. So, yun. Okay. So, for example, this is yung isa sa mga game ko. So, duration is 15 minutes and 33 seconds. So, medyo matagal. So, kasi medyo nahihirapan kasi kami mag-push. Kasi makunat-kunat si Tamus, makunat din si Badang, at mas lalong makunat si Gatot. Pero hindi kami na-push agad. The reason ko bakit hindi kami na-push agad at tumagal pa kami ng 15 minutes is dahil hindi naman ganun kasakit si Mia. Pero siya MVP, ha. Tingnan natin mamaya kung talagang masakit si Mia. At medyo masakit na naman talaga to si Cyclops. Okay, so ako naman ito, so wala naman, tank type. Okay, pero 7.4. So, itong assassin na to, walang kwenta. Lalo na tong fighter na to, wala ding kwenta to. Okay, namatay 7 times. Now, wala tong information na may bigay sa'yo, maliban na lang sa nakikita mo yung ranking mo. Alright? So, kung medyo nerdy ka, titignan mo yung data, diba? Right? So, meron tayong graph dito, or meron tayong idea. So, meron tayong hero damage, so red. Obviously, sa Jericho, mababa yun kasi hindi naman talaga ako hitter. So, papanatasin nyo yung red ko, mababa. Okay? So, si Leslie, siya yung 40%. So, siya yung may pinakamataas sa damage na ibuga. So, tama lang yun kasi nga siya ang MM eh. Pero, ang weird naman, kung makita mo si Nana na hitter type. So, bakit nga ba hitter type si Nana? Titingnan natin yung view. Kaya pala. May necklace at meron itong turret. Lightning turret. So, medyo masakit yan. Okay, so masakit yung mage ni Nana kasi meron siyang necklace at yung turret. So, siya naman, mataas yung damage siya kasi obviously meron talaga siyang critical effects. So, may critical effects, may endless battle pa siya, meron pa siyang wind chuchu, meron pa siya nung parang critical chuchu. Okay. So, itong Mokoy na to, 14% damage niya, parasan sila nitong ni Natalia. Okay. Ito, ang taas-taas ang ganda ng gamit niya, di ba? Ito yung highest damage pero ang baba lang ng damage siya na nagawa, di ba? Sabihin, wala tong kwenta tong fighter na to, showy lang to. So, titignan natin yung farming niya. Team precipitation, 34% damage niya. So, hindi siya push type, hindi man na siya nagpo-push. Tayo ko pa siya. Okay. So, obvious naman. So, tama lang naman. So, 5% ako sa turret damage. Hindi ko naman talaga madadamage yung tower kasi hindi ako hitter type. Pero yung team participation ko is mataas. At ganun din si Nana kasi parehas kami support. So, lagi kami nasa laban. So, itong fighter na to, baliktad yata. Dapat ito yung laging nasa laban kasi siya ang fighter eh. Pero itong MM namin, matapang. Tapang na MM namin, laging lumalaban. Ito naman, kita mo sa kabila, okay, si Mia lagi lumalaban, tapos si Gatot. Okay? Alright, so, yun yung mga data, no? Kung titignan nyo, the data again gives you the idea of how well you perform. And I don't really know the algorithm, how the ranking works. Hindi ko talaga gets. Hindi ko alam kung paano na nasasabi na ikaw MVP. Hindi ko alam. Eh, siguro, I don't know, siguro overall rating could be, it could be. No. Pwedeng summary, let's say 40% plus 13% plus 50 plus 66 divided by 4. Check natin. That's 40% plus 13 plus 50 plus 66. So divided by 4. So si Leslie naka 42.25. Alright. So Leslie 42.25. Si Mokoy, ito 14 plus 33 plus 4 plus 34 divided by 4 is 21.25. Sweet na yan. Jog, ano na pangalan? 21.25. Okay, so si Natalia naman is 14 plus 13 plus 33 plus 34 divided by 4, so that's 23. 23.5. Si Nana naman ay 23 plus 13 plus 9 plus 59 divided by 4, siya ay 26. Tama ba ako? 23 plus 13 plus 9 plus 59. Okay, 26. So ako naman 9 plus 29 plus 5 plus 59 divided by 4. So ako ay 25.5. So X. Okay, so tingnan yung ranking, no? Alright, halata naman, no? So ibig sabihin ng total dapat ito, ilan ba total nito? 42.25 plus 21.25 plus 27.5 plus 26 plus 25.5. Ang layo. Okay, total niya 142.5%. So, hindi ko alam kung paano siya nag-ranking, no? Wala. Basta, obvious naman, si Leslie yung may pinakamataas, so siya yung MVP. Then, followed by 26. Pero bakit yung Natalia, no? Natalia ay 27. Mali yata ang number to. 23 pala to. 23.5. So, second one is Nana. And then third one is ako. So, ito ang question. Ibig sabihin ba, kapag bumaba ka sa 24, kung bumaba ka sa 24, kulay silver ka na, at yung mga 24 pataas is gold? Pwede. Tignan natin. Silver. Okay. Tignan natin si Gatot. Hindi, si Gatot. Okay. Tignan natin si Gatot. Si Gatot is 6 plus 52 plus 23 plus 40 divided by 4. Taas naman. 30. Ibig sabihin hindi pwede yung kunin nyo, no? May percentage. Iba siguro yung ranking. Iba yung pagdating sa ranking could be. So, hindi ko alam kung paano kinocompute ni Mobile Legends yung mga ranking, yung mga ganyan, MVP, wala. So, obvious naman, MVP ka talaga pag ikaw may pinakamataas na rating. So, yun. Alright, so I guess that's it for the video. And to sum up, to summarize everything that I already mentioned here, a picture paints 1,000 words. So,